This has been the most successful trading week yet, with 4 successful trades, and I'll take you guys through exactly what happened. But we've collected in, we basically, there was a big drop, as you can see here, on Wednesday. That's this big red candle here that you see. That was in response to the inventory news that came out at 10:30 Eastern on Wednesday, and that's maybe not this drastic a move, but this sort of big move is typical of Wednesday news events. In any case, I was concerned with our 20%, 40% actually portfolio holding in our long, waiting for the turnaround that's eventually going to come. As you can see, we've had this big drop, we climbed back up, and now we're heading down again, and I think that we're approaching the bottom here, either maybe 44 or 42. I'll talk about that a little bit as well. But I do think that the turnaround is coming for crude maybe in the next week or two or so. We might suffer one more big drop, we'll see. But that being said, holding our longs, we're definitely well situated to profit from that. But in the meantime, we are drifting down. So I was concerned that heading into this drop here, that this was the Wednesday drop. If I flip back to the 1 week chart here, this was the Wednesday drop, and I was based on the circumstances around the Wednesday, we were kind of climbing back up, but there was a lot of hesitation. So I decided to hedge our 40% long position by buying an equivalent amount in the bear HOD ETF from Horizons, and you guys can learn more about these here. So this is the bull ETF, this is the bear ETF. If you want to check those out, here are the URLs. And so we purchased the equivalent stake, and we did that, as you can see here. If I go to the results on my Trading Journal account, I'll talk about the Monday trade as well, but the position was purchased on the 14th. As you can see here, that's the date here down below. So this was the 14th. We purchased the 40% stake in the bear. We sold that at near bottom, so somewhere around here, I believe. We sold the first half of it. So as you can see here, we had a 40% purchase, but on the 14th we sold only 20%, and we held on to the other half of it there. And the other half we held on because of this, what I expected to see either that following day or in the coming days afterwards, Friday, Monday, this coming Monday, for example. I thought that we would drift towards 44, and we did. We didn't quite see these lows here in North American trading, but we did manage to sell right about here at 44.40. We sold the second half of it, and it was perfect timing. This is also the point at which we bought our long position, which is you can see here. So this was the double position that we purchased on the 14th. We sold half here. We sold the other half here. So you can see here the 15th we sold the other half of the 14th buy, and then on the 16th we sold the long position that we bought on the 15th. So when we sold here on the 15th, the second half of the bear position, we also purchased the long, because we were getting very close to 44, and I expected to see a lot of resistance, which is exactly what we got. And we drifted up. We did try to make a move for 45. We didn't quite get there. In North American trading, we didn't quite see these super highs. We opened right at 44.80, which is exactly when I sold, as you can see here on the 16th. So we held that for only 22 and 3/4 hours there. So on the 16th, if I flip to that, you can see that we sold at 9:35. So literally within minutes of the open, we sold that long, and then we drifted down throughout the day, made a last attempt to pull up before closing, but we managed to sell that long right at the best possible moment. And not that I didn't think that we would make another attempt maybe to 45, which we did not, but simply that was good enough. And that's one of the lessons that I've learned in the past few weeks, is you set a target, you stick to it, and don't try to get swayed by the motion of the chart and what you think might happen. Set your price, stick to it, execute your orders. Can't really stress that enough. And look at our results here. As you can see, we've just in the past week, we've collected in $4,000 in profits. So it's literally been our best week so far. Not that previous weeks haven't been really great employing this strategy. But basically what we're doing is just trading on volatility. We don't care whether things are going to go up, whether crude oil is going to go up or it's going to go down. It doesn't matter. We certainly have to have a belief as to what we think the direction is going to be in the next week or months. But ultimately, we're trading on volatility. We don't care whether it goes up or down. We don't care what the price of crude is. All we care is that we get the movement that allows us to cash in, whether it's up or down. And employing that very strategy, we've managed to collect in 4K. Now, of course, we're still holding our long position, so I flip over to portfolio, and I'll talk about this kind of looking at the long-term chart of how this came to be. But basically, we're still holding our longs, which are down about $7,000. That being said, if we look over at our performance thus far, we can see that in June 2017, we're already up well more than that. So just in the past 2 weeks, our profits have covered more than our unrealized outstanding positions, open positions. So even if we were to sell our open positions, we'd still be in the black or in the green for June. And of course, the profits in prior months are just awesome. So this strategy thus far has been really paying off for us. And as I'll talk about in a little bit, about kind of where we think we're going to go in the next near term, you can see here from the 3-month chart that we are on a downswing. And if this has been the longest downswing, most consistent downswing we've seen in the past year. It's been 4 consecutive weeks of red. So we might see one more week of red, but I don't think we're going to see 2 weeks of red. It's possible, of course, but I just don't believe that's going to happen. So I do think the turnaround is coming soon. I think we're going to get a relief week in here somewhere. Whether it's next week or the week after that, we're going to get a bounce. I don't expect it to be a significant bounce, at least not immediately. We might come up to 47, 48, and we probably retrace down, and then hopefully we make a move to 50, which gives us an opportunity to sell our 2-month-old long positions, which I'll touch on in a moment. But taking a look at our summary here, we're doing really, really well, and we're in a great position to profit from that turnaround that's coming, because the only thing we're holding right now is our longs, our HOUs, which you can learn more about here on Horizon's website. Here we're looking at the 3-month chart, thanks to investing.com here. And this is just to kind of give you guys a lay of the land of where my current portfolio stands. So down here, down below, this is on my Trading Journal account. You'll see the 2 current open positions, and these are kind of getting long in the tooth. One is almost 2 months old now, and one is a week and a half old here. And these are both HOU Horizon bull positions in the ETF. So basically I'm betting on oil price going up. Unfortunately, these are back from when oil was much higher. So the first one dates back to April 19th, so that's here. So basically on that particular day we suffered this massive drop from about 52.5 down to a low of 50, and unfortunately I caught it right about here at the $52 mark. So that's where I purchased the long, and as you can see right here, about a month later we got an opportunity to exit, which of course I chose not to, because I was thinking that I'd get an opportunity to take at least some profit. That never happened, so I continue to hold that position. I'll talk about that position in a little bit, but ultimately I'm going to have to take a loss, I think, at some point, but hopefully somewhere around 50, maybe as low as 49. Certainly not down here where we are now at just below 45. The other position is about 10 days old. That was on June 7th, and these are both for about a quarter. You can see here the weighting in terms of the weighting in the portfolio, so just about a quarter, 20% positions of the portfolio. So on June 7th, that's right about there. I caught it at a little bit better in terms of the drop, but again, it was in one of these days where we suffered this massive drop. And when we take a closer look at this particular day, similar to here, there was basically a pause here where I thought it might turn. I've since learned that basically not to react to these sudden drops and just to give it time, because ultimately I just keep getting the call wrong here and getting in too early. But basically I purchased this other one at about 46.5. I'm not too concerned about that position because I know we're going to be above that level eventually. I mean, we almost got there just a week ago. But of course, this Wednesday we suffered yet another drop that put us below the $45 mark. So that's where the current position holds. But this past week has been actually really exciting and quite profitable. So even though if we go to my current portfolio here, this is based on a portfolio value of 100,000, and you can see that I've suffered. I'm currently carrying a significant loss on this. However, if we go to the performance here, I'll show you guys what this looks like over the past. Let's go to results. So here, the 12th, 14th, 15th, and 16th, you can see the sort of profits that we've managed to pull in. So that more than compensates for the drops that we've been suffering. So basically cashing out, and I'll talk about the strategy in a little bit, but cashing out along the way helps to offset any kind of losses on the opposing side. So these are HOD positions, meaning bear positions, horizon down versus horizon up, which you see here, for example. U meaning up, D down. So this is the bull, this is the bear. So we're profiting along the way on the downside as we move with the bear positions. And unfortunately, the bull positions take a loss. But I mean, we're only carrying about 40% of the portfolio in the bull. So we still have 60% available in cash. And we're reaching now a point where I think we're going to see a pretty quick turnaround. I don't know whether it's going to happen at the $44 mark or maybe at the $42 mark, but we're going to start to swing upward again at some point soon. So if we take a look at the 7-day chart here, so I'm just going to scroll this down here just so you guys can see the positions here. So the 12th, 14th, 15th, and 16th, that was where the trades, the successful completed trades of the past week. So starting with the 12th, this was an HOD position where we got in here. We managed to profit from this particular drop, and we got out. The 15th is over here. Again, here. So the 15th we sold after this particular drop. This was the Wednesday news. So as you may know, on Wednesdays at 10:30 Eastern Time, we get the crude inventory news, and that always sends the markets into a spiral. So on that particular day, we dropped yet again almost $2. So we managed to cash in almost 6.25% on one position here. I sold half, and that's why we have the 15th and the 16th. And the second half I sold on the next day after we had this particular drop. And I managed to sell it almost near the very bottom here. And that was also the day where we purchased the long. So when we sold the last part of our short, our bear here, we purchased the long, and then we rode it up, and we sold it at about 44.80, so right about here. So we didn't quite get the very top, but this top actually was never even touched during North American trading hours. This was in pre-market over in Europe and Asia. So we did actually exceptionally well. I think the actual price was the very best price of the day. We drifted lower and then kind of bounced back up. And I'll talk about what I expect to see in the coming week as well. But right now we're in a really great position to profit from what's coming next. At the week ahead, so week of June 19th to the 23rd of 2017. I expect that we're going to bounce around between 45 and 44. So as you can see here, this past Friday, we did make a run for 45 up here, over on the left of your top left of your screen here. We drifted down. We exited our long position that we purchased the day before down here. We exited near the top, and then we just kind of drifted down, and we didn't play any other action on Friday other than that early morning sale in the first, I think, 30 seconds of the day. But basically we settled 44.70 at resistance from the day before, which was kind of to be expected. Where I think we're going to go before Wednesday. So Wednesday's 10:30 is going to be a really anticipated day because we've suffered these huge drops. If we flip back to the 3-month chart, you can see that we've been suffering these huge drops every Wednesday. And this is the 4th week in a row that we've suffered these big drops, and that's actually unprecedented in the past year. So everyone is expecting the turnaround to happen soon, for better or worse. I'm including myself in that. But I really do think that the turnaround is coming either this coming week or the week after. So flipping back to the 1-day chart here, if I zoom in a little bit, I'll flip to the 5-minute here. So where I think we're going next, let me bring up the notes here again. So short above 45. So if we manage to retest 45 again, so we got to a high of 44.94, and I do believe that we're going to break 45, and hopefully we get as high as 45.50, which I think is the resistance level from before. So if we zoom out further here, 45.50 puts us right here, and as you can see, this is resistance from prior weeks. So I think that that's where we're going to at least make an attempt to go. I don't know if we're going to quite get there or not, but the next level below that is 45.20. So these are the ones that I'm watching for. I'm going to have a short buy order, so the HOD ETF, I'm going to be aiming to buy at 45.50, which I think is where we might spike to, and then probably retreat back to 45.20. So if I'm not able to buy the 45.50 short, then I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to get at 45.20 or better. Now, if on the other hand we go down on Monday, Tuesday, before Wednesday, then I'm going to be looking to go long again, add to our long positions near or possibly even below 44. It depends on kind of market action, but I'm happy with anything close to 44. Below, of course, is better, more upside for us. We'll just see how it goes. I do expect that if either of these happen, if we go above 45 or near 44 or lower, I do believe that prior to Wednesday, it'll reverse. So either the short, we're going to be able to profit from that reversal back down towards resistance somewhere around where we are now, 44.70. Or if we go to 44 lower, I think we're going to come back up prior to Wednesday's news. That's my expectation, for better or worse. So that brings us to Wednesday itself. Now, Wednesday, like I said, the past 4 weeks, flipping back to the 3-month chart here, you can see that we've had months like this before, but we've had kind of a relief week in between. This is the first time in the past year where we've had 4 consecutive drops, 4 consecutive weekly retreats without any relief in sight for bulls. And we're bull right now. I mean, I think that the turnaround is coming, and I expect to cash in handsomely when it does happen. So we're going to be looking to profit from that turnaround, whether it happens this coming week or the week after. But I think Wednesday, regardless of whether the news is actually positive or negative for crude, I think we're going up. Basically, the bulls are just frustrated, they're exhausted, and they need some some relief, and I think that's coming either this coming week or the week after. So if we do move up, we're going to start selling our longs, and if we happen to get into a short that we didn't get some retreat for, then we may possibly look at exiting that, but it sort of depends on where we end up coming into Wednesday. So we'll see how that unfolds, but that's kind of the plan going forward, and I'm really looking forward to this coming week because I think it's going to be hugely profitable week, as well as the balance of June 2017. So hit us up for questions, comments, suggestions. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video. Comment down below or over on my TradingJournal.ca account, so you can see the address here. And I'll be sure to answer any questions, and subscribe to stay tuned, and I'll try to post both before the trading day and following each trading day to let you guys know kind of what the plan is for the day, given pre-market action, and how things developed given whatever plan it is that we put together going in. So until the next trading day, Monday, June 19th, see you guys then. Cheers.